does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Hey there, YouTube. We're back again for another episode of Thoughts from the Corner. I'm here with my good friend Lucy.
Hey!
And tonight, we got a chance to play Letter Jam, the new one from CGE. This is for 2 to 6 players. Age is 10 plus. It'll take about 45 minutes to play. And this was my game of the show at Origins 2019, so I was very excited to play this. I've probably played it 10 to 15 times now. We played it 3 players tonight. It was your first time playing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to try and explain Letter Jam before we talk about it, but it's a very different word game.
Different. I'd say it's similar because it still, even after we played it, it still reminds me of a lot like Hanabi. Yes, I'm going to bring up Hanabi.
I disagree
Yes,
strongly.
no. Because
I
you're
will
doing
say
the
once
same
you
kind of actions. Like you're trying to help out the person with clues. It takes that same kind of thought process. It's not the same gameplay. Because at the end you have to figure out a word.
you know what?
It's the same thought process.
You've swayed me. I think if you like Hanabi, I think you will like the mechanisms in this. I agree.
Because I usually don't. Because like how the game works is like at the beginning of the whole thing, you're supposed to you're giving your
You want me to
player
do
to
this
the-
part since I played it a couple more times
Oh,
on
yeah.
here? Okay. So at the beginning of the game, you essentially are going to get a big stack of letter cards, and you're just going to make, most of the time, a 5-letter word. And then you're going to hand that 5-letter word secretly to the person to your left. So it might be...
For example, my word was Lance.
Power, sewer, yeah. Anything like that.
Yeah.
And that person is going to take those 5 cards, and they're going to shuffle them up face
Without
down.
looking.
And they're going to put them up. They're going to put them like this. And then everyone is going to take their first one, and they are going to put it up like this. So you will see everyone else's letter except for yours. There also will be a wild in the middle, and depending on your player count, there might be some extra letters that no one is control of, or no one has to guess, but they're just out there. And you're going to look at all these letters. So let's just pretend that these were all the letters that were up. We have R, P, Lucy has this in front of her, I have that in front of me. But this is what we can see. R, P, K, and I can see your D. This is the worst example in the history of examples.
There's also going to be a wild card to help out. Let's get that wild.
We'll just pretend it's this one.
Yeah.
And now what you have to do is you have to look at the information in front of you, which is going to be a series of letters. And you all have the same information for the most part, except that Lucy doesn't know that she has a D, and I don't know that I have an S. Our job is to try and help the other people figure out what their letter is. So let's just say, okay, this
We
is...
should probably use an example that's actually in here. So, for example, for example, he has an S, and there's like also an R. Yeah, there's also an R.
Let's do a P. There we go.
So I could use these tokens essentially, and I'd spell out a word to hint for it. So, for example, I'd put 1 here, and then for the A, I'd put 2, and then for the there was an A. You had an A in your hand. For example, let's say there was.
Oh,
an
wait,
A
I got a
out there.
perfect one. Okay, so Lucy might do S, because she sees I have an S. Then she might do the 2 under the U, because that's the U. And then she might do the 3 under the P. And now we don't have an E, because I'm trying to spell super, and she wouldn't obviously say that. So she would put the number 4 on the wild in the middle, which means that wild is now a specific letter. And then the 5 would go under the R. And so now everyone is going to write down the information that they see on this little sheet of paper. So for me, I would see mystery letter, which is my letter, U, P, blank, R. And I might be able to infer that it's super. Or I might not be able to, and I might say, oh, it could be an S, it could be a T. And eventually you're going to figure out what your letter is after a couple clues, and you're going to put it down, and then you'll go to your next one. So that's the general premise of the game. We're not going to go too much into it, because like I said, it's kind of difficult to explain. Go watch a gameplay video of it, and it'll click very quickly, because it actually is a pretty simple game. But let's get to our thoughts about the game, because we did get a chance to play it 3 players. So I'll let you go first, because you were not the hottest on word games, correct?
Yeah, word games for me tended I've never had a bad word game, but I've never thought about a word game and be like, oh, I want to buy this. This one, I'd consider buying this because it doesn't have that same thing. You don't need to, because other people are thinking of words for you, which helps a lot, and you're trying to figure out the mystery letters in them.
I knew I wanted this game as soon as I saw it at Origins. I absolutely love it at 6 players. Honestly, I will give this a Bowers Best Seal at 6 players. It is that good. I would play this. If anybody wanted to play 6 players, even if I had to teach it, I think I would be more than happy to play this, because you haven't got a chance to do it, but it has this unique moment that I've never played. I've never had in any other board game ever period. And you didn't get to see it, unfortunately, in the 3-player game, which is these incredible, clever moments you get where you realize that you can help out, say, 4 or 5 people potentially on one turn and say, ooh, I've got a 7-letter word that is going to help out 3 people. Then someone else is like, I have a 5-letter word, but it's going to help out 4 people. And so there's this cool negotiating aspect too that we didn't really get to, because part of the thing is you have to figure out your 5 face-down letters before the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And so you want to be helping specific people, because somebody might already be on their 4th letter, but someone else might be on their 2nd letter. So that person that's on their 2nd letter, you don't want them giving the clues, because when you give clues, you're not getting any information. So there's a really interesting tit for tat there. But one of my favorite moments is you'll see something and it will be so spectacular. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I got it. Let me do it. And you're like, I got an 8-letter word. It's going to help out 4. It's the best. Just okay. And everyone's like, yeah, do it. And then you're like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you smile and you're like, yeah. And then you're like, wait. None of you know what's going on. And then maybe you'll like look at it again and you'll be like, oh, it could be a lot of things. And it's so cool, because I haven't played any other game where I just felt that incredibly clever. When I'm playing board games, I don't normally feel like, oh, I'm so clever. But this game gave me that feeling, and then it can give you the immediate, oh my god, I'm the stupidest person on the planet, which is also fun. And if you play this game enough, it's not going to be that big of a deal, because everyone is going to do it. And I think you did it maybe once during the game.
I think I tried like once. My favorite one was like a gnat trying to get you to get to your T.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, okay, what word has like a G and an A? Like, what can you make with that? You also had like one that kind of like made me like also like getting to know your friends, because he told me like he had that one word where you're just like,
bulk,
you know what,
which is a sports word. Yeah, I was like, you're not gonna. I know for sure you're probably not gonna know this obscure baseball terminology, so I'm pretty sure that it's not bulk. So knowing the person actually brought a level of metagame into it, and I was like, oh yeah, because I was like, it could be a K, but I was like, there's no way she's gonna make it bulk. Yeah. So that's another interesting aspect of the game that I hadn't really thought of, that the more you play it with people, the more you know the people, it could have a little bit of game inside the game. Now let's talk about what we don't like, because while I do love the mechanisms of the game, the scoring leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, the end was a little bit of like a kind of a letdown.
Well, we lost. We got crushed, because this game is difficult.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really mentioned the end. You have to figure out all 5 of your letters, which, by the way, is not as easy as it sounds. And then you have to try and rearrange them in the correct order without looking at the letters and
the cards at the time. So, like, heaven forbid, like, you kind of forget. Because I kind of, at some point, like, I started with it's like dyslexia kicked in, and I was like, wait, I moved this over here. But wasn't that card? And like, oh no. And
one thing they do mention in the rules, because I'm going to guess that this actually happens to quite a lot of people, is they recommend just putting it on top of the card. So this is, all right, this is my 1 card, this is my 2 card, this is my 3 card, 4 card, 5 card. Because all that information is actually, like, this is super useful. Like, this does not look helpful at first glance, but this actually is very useful at helping you figure things out. But the scoring itself, and this is actually kind of funny, this is a little peek behind the curtains. We tried this, an early version of this, at Origins 2019, as I mentioned, and we played it probably 10 or 15 times that weekend, me and my friend Adam and some other people, and 3 separate times they did the scoring different, because they were still hammering out the scoring, and the final scoring, I just want to read it to you, because it annoys the living hell out of me. If more or less everyone has spelled a word, then you have all more or less won. This is in bold red text. Have you ever read that in a rule booklet? Lucy, you've more or less won.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You did it. It's
like, and there's like a scoring thing where like because the whole thing is when you give clues, you take like these red and green tokens off the flower, and that it's not really scoring, but like, I mean, I can get mechanic wise why it's there to like make sure people guess. Yeah, and it also so what she's saying there is there's this rule where everyone has to take off a certain number of red ones before it pretty much makes it so that there's no alpha gamers. Not everyone's going to be giving 6, 7, 8, 9 clues. It makes it so it kind of spreads it out, which is good gameplay wise, and it's also good to make the game a little bit more enjoyable, because nobody likes when somebody takes over like that. It also just helps encourage people, because like with the mechanic itself, like you have to get your own
letters, so by default you cannot always give out clues.
Well, you can, but you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Really badly.
But it is like I guess this is a little bit of a letdown at the end because like in the middle of the game it was engaging, it was fun. I was just like, why aren't you getting this, Forrest? Jimmy, I need you to help me out. And it's just like, and like at the end of it when I'm doing my own thing trying to rearrange my letters, I was just like, I don't.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it was a letdown because we all failed. All of us failed. But if you would have got it, you'd be like, oh, it's power. I mean that would do you think that would have been more?
I don't.
See, because here's the thing. Here's the other thing. If you would have been the only one to get it, and we would have both got it wrong, it would have felt even better.
Yeah, but that's just catharsis. That's just like you can trip on the stairs and I'd be like, finally.
She's been waiting all these years. Let's talk a little bit about components. I had no issues with components.
I love this component. Like a lot of people don't care about. I mean, I guess because I'm more into like cards type things and like cardistry and whatnot. Because I have niche hobbies, and like these cards are so nice. It's just a little extra things that you don't notice. Like there's little like highlighted lettering.
Yeah.
It's all perfect. Like the cards are white, so you don't need to worry about like it getting edged out. So you don't like start like metagaming and like noticing like, hey, I know the U card has a scratch on this over here. It's
I'm
a little.
never worried about that.
It's graphical because I play a lot of Werewolf, and that happens a lot with metagaming.
You know what? I take that back. I have worried about that in Werewolf. Never mind.
Yeah, it's just like these, when you start to get to know the cards, and if you want to play this again and again with more people, you start learning stuff.
Yeah, I don't, but with that many letters, I don't know. One thing I want to mention is that you can also, there's a rules overview video, and there's actually a setup. So I think because I want to play this when we have more people.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's use the Letter Jam setup app. So we'll probably do that next time. Maybe we'll do a Bowers Boogaloo Corner, and we'll play this next week or something. Who knows? But overall,
I like
thoughts on the game.
Like this is one of the few letter piecing games I like a lot because it's nice. I can see myself playing this over and over again, and it gets that whole aspect of because the hardest part about for me like letter games is just like coming up with new letters, trying to get more points because most of the time they're competitive.
Mm-hmm.
This being cooperative really helps.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. This is going into my collection. I don't ever see it leaving my collection, to be honest with you.
This is a great beginner game.
Yeah.
If you just have some people you want to hey, I don't know much about board games or whatnot. Here, let me show you what they've evolved into. You don't need to play just Monopoly.
Yeah, because that's always nice especially with the gateway games when it's cooperative. I would say family game. You want to make sure your kids are very competent spellers because misspelling can really
someone pulled in euchre and I didn't know really how that spelled.
It was a great clue, dang
it was in theory. Jimmy was like, I got it. You were like, yeah, I ordered rocks, and I'm over here you.
And see, that's one of the fun parts of the game. I was very smug. I was deep inside. I was like, this.
What
is
if people are
clue.
not in Indiana though? Just they don't know euchre.
Fair enough. But that is Letter Jam, one that I definitely can recommend. That being said, 3 players. I don't know how often I'd revisit it 3 players. Did you? Okay.
I enjoyed it at 3. I mean, I never had the experience of playing it with more people, but I like it. I mean, again, my what's it called? My standard for letter games is kind of low. So this one put some energy in me, so I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, and I definitely still like it at the lower player counts, but I think it really excels at the higher player counts. But that is Letter Jam from CGE. Absolutely do not want to let this one fly under your radar if you like cooperative games, if you like letter games, or if you like spelling games, or if you like games that make you feel clever and stupid at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
But there you go. If it looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to check that one out. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. Consider supporting the Patreon in the comments below. Let me know. What is your favorite type of sandwich? Or no, you know what is your favorite odd type of sandwich? You got any special Lucy recipes? Because I just made one yesterday, which is why I asked this question.
I mean, I just have a really when I was younger, I'd make I guess not even really a sandwich, just a combination of just 2 waffles, ice cream, and a piece of ham.
Whoa!
Syrup on top.
Okay, you lost me at the ham. That's interesting.
It's so good.
That's what
I did because
you know what? I can't judge. I cannot judge because yesterday we had BLTs, and my 4-year-old son Luke was like, "I want a PBLT." I was like, "What?" It was like peanut butter, lettuce, and tomatoes. He's like, "Yeah." I was like, let's do it, buddy.
Why
So we
not?
had a snack before. I assumed it was going to be like we'd take one bite each, and we'd be like, all right, we're going to waste this food because we're Americans. Give it to the dog. It was actually really good.
Ooh.
It was really sticky. Like, not just like, wow, this is okay. But it was like, I would make another one. So PBLT, try it.
Yeah.
But let me know in the comments below. What's one of your weird, zany recipes you got? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
See yas.